I don't think so. No.
From his first day on the job, he was the Gunners' head coach. Let's pick a random moment in time, February 2025. Only 6 Premier League bosses actually held the official title of manager rather than head coach. Man City's Pep Guardiola, David Moyes of Everton, Ipswich boss Kieran McKenna, Southampton's Ivan Juric, Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace and Leicester's Ruud van Nistelrooy were the only actual managers of their respective teams. Everyone else? That's right, head coach, including Ruben Amorim at Man United. He took over from Erik ten Hag, a man who had held the title of manager. Might come as a surprise that Amorim's appointment marked the first time ever that Man United had a head coach instead of a manager. But to understand why they made that decision, you also have to get what the difference is between a head coach and a manager. A manager's got a huge range of responsibilities. They're not just in charge of training and player lineups, they're also heavily involved in player sales and transfers. Critical stuff. But a head coach's role is far more focused on team training and performance on the pitch. So whereas Ten Hag was highly involved with decisions around transfers during his tenure, the intention was that Amorim wouldn't be, at least not on the same level. And as the sporting structure at Man United changed under Sir Jim Ratcliffe, people like Sir Dave Brailsford took charge of transfers instead. How all those roles play out in practice may be slightly different at different clubs though. On the other hand, the contracts of actual managers like Pep or Moyes had no limits on their job role and their involvement with transfers and contracts. But those guys are actually in the minority now, and it's a change that's happened pretty quickly. In 2019, there were only 6 head coaches in the Premier League, but by 2025, there were 14. A clear indication that more and more clubs are moving towards a model where the guy in charge is actually only really in charge on the pitch. And the way things are going, it might not be long before all 20 clubs have got head coaches, and the job position of football manager in the top flight is no more.
Good morning, this is the Early Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. I'm Olivia Buzaglo. We are building up to talkSPORT Breakfast at 6 a.m. with Jeff Stelling and the last Scotsman to be nominated for the Ballon d'Or before Scott McTominay's glow-up, and it is, of course, Super Ali McCoist. Nick,
good morning.
You're back.
I am back, yeah.
And it was your birthday on Sunday, wasn't it?
It was.
How did you celebrate?
Just by eating a lot of Italian food in central London.
Where did you go?
This place it's called like Pizzeria di Michele or something. It's in Soho, but it was like I just had a a lovely big old pizza and a tiramisu.
Everywhere I go, I get a tiramisu. It is like my favourite.
It's the best.
Like, even if like I'm so full to the point where I feel sick,
yeah, I will
still have space for a tiramisu.
Yeah, it was pretty good actually. Can recommend it. I mean,
might go.
I absolutely love a tiramisu. But yeah, pizza was really good.
Good. I'm glad. Oh, you pizza or pasta man?
Always pizza.
Are you? Oh, I'm always pasta.
Yeah.
Always pasta. Right, what have we got coming up over the next hour, Nick?
We'll start in Paris, where the winners of the Ballon d'Or 2025 have been crowned. Scott McTominay just missed out, unfortunately. We'll also talk whether the Ballon d'Or's, has it lost a bit of lustre? Is it what it once was? We'll take a look at the under-pressure West Ham boss Graham Potter after another home defeat on the weekend. And we'll look ahead to massive action of Carabao Cup here on talkSPORT tonight. As always, you can get involved on the usual number 03717 22 33 44. Let's get into it.
Yes!
Just quickly, before we get into this Ballon d'Or stuff, you got to be worried about Lincoln tonight.
Why would I be worried about? I'm not going to say this because actually, I would back Chelsea's probably reserves
to
beat Lincoln.
You lost to the Red Devils at the weekend. What about the
Imps?
We
went down to 10 men after 4 minutes, and then Maresca lost the plot a little bit.
Who's keeping tonight? Petrovic?
hopefully.
Well, listen.
He plays for Bournemouth.
You've got too many goalkeepers.
Jorgensen will play tonight. Robert Sanchez is only suspended for this game. He's back on the weekend.
That's right. I lost track of Chelsea's
Yeah, we do have about 1 million
situation.
goalkeepers, to be fair.
Apologies. I just having a look at Lincoln, and here's some reasons for you to be worried, right? They're third in League One, strong. No defeats in the last 5, 2 wins and 3 draws, much better than what Chelsea are doing. Their manager's got Premier League experience. Michael Scubala was at Leeds for a bit. Lincoln have more history than Chelsea, founded in 1884, ages before you guys. And bad things happen in threes. Bayern Munich, Man United, Lincoln.
I hate to break it to you, but bad things have already happened in a 3, and it was Brentford because we conceded a 90-whatever minute equaliser. So actually, Brentford, Bayern, Man United, the 3's done, Nick. So actually,
you're back.
So actually, we're back. And we're going to beat Lincoln.
What I want is a Lincoln caller for you this morning. So if any Lincoln fans listening, 03717 22 33 44.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Nick. We're back a little bit later. The Ballon d'Or happened last night. One little thing about why did it take so long? Why? I mean, I'm one of the idiots that sat there and watched the whole thing. They do this thing where they every person that comes out to present an award, they have to show highlights of them as if no one knows what Andres Iniesta or Ronaldinho have done in their careers. But anyway, the favourite won it in the end. Ousmane Dembele was voted the 2025 Men's Ballon d'Or winner. He was the best player, came from the best team. He cried as he accepted the trophy, and his words here have been translated by Nick.
Je comptais pas pleurer. Voilà, je voulais rester fort.
Well, I wasn't planning on crying. I wanted to stay strong and thank everyone and so on. But as soon as I started talking about my family, the ones who've been there since the beginning, my emotions built up and I had to let them out. I'm fortunate to have a coach like Luis Enrique who always puts me under pressure. And when you've tasted all that, the collective and individual victories, you want to stay at the top. So we're still very motivated this year. We have a young group at Paris Saint-Germain, and winning the Champions League is exceptional. It's something you want to experience again with all the same staff and players. Well, I really exploded in 2025, especially in the important matches and moments. So I'm very happy to win this award.
On va essayer de revivre ça, bien sûr, parce que c'est beau.
Well done, Nick, for reading that out. Are we calling that translating? Are we calling that translating? I don't think we are calling that translating. But that was Ousmane Dembele speaking after winning his first Ballon d'Or. When I said he came from the best team, Paris Saint-Germain got voted the best team at the Ballon d'Or Awards yesterday. They won a quadruple, which was incredible. Luis Enrique won Men's Coach of the Year. I mean, just talking about Ousmane Dembele, because he was the favourite. I think him and Lamine Yamal, they were the top 2. I think either of them would have been worthy winners. But this was his 24-25 for club and country. 60 games, 37 goals, 15 assists. He won the Liga, he won the French Cup, he won the Champions League, he was the Champions League Player of the Season, he was the Liga top goal scorer, he was the Liga Player of the Year, and he has culminated all of that. An incredible season by winning the Ballon d'Or. And I genuinely don't think there is anyone out there that could argue against Ousmane Dembele winning that. He was absolutely incredible. Just a shout out, obviously, for Cole Palmer. Actually, first a shout out for Lamine Yamal, because I think for me, I don't claim to watch a lot of Liga and La Liga. I don't sit there and watch them every week. I don't watch Paris Saint-Germain or Barcelona. But when I watch the big Champions League games, which I watch a lot of Paris Saint-Germain and a lot of Barcelona, to me, I love Lamine Yamal, and I watched him last season, and for me, he was the best player that I watched. So my personal opinion would have been giving it to Lamine Yamal, but you can't argue against Ousmane Dembele winning that. When I mentioned Cole Palmer, he came 8th in the Ballon d'Or. He's the first player in the top 10 not to play Champions League football since Neymar all the way back in 2011. Now, I'm not just saying this because it's Cole Palmer, but to me, he is exactly the sort of player that I could see winning the Ballon d'Or one day. Just the way he's so effortless, so naturally gifted, everything about the way he plays football, to me, just screams Ballon d'Or. So hopefully one day we'll be sat here talking about Cole Palmer winning the Ballon d'Or, maybe. But yeah, also shout out to Mo Salah as well. He came fourth, obviously the highest Premier League player. And Gianluigi Donnarumma, he came ninth. It was a huge night as well for English women's football at the Ballon d'Or Awards. Sarina Wiegman was named Best Manager, and Hannah Hampton picked up the Women's Lev Yashin Award for Best Goalkeeper. So well deserved, by the way. Just first of all, Sarina Wiegman, just obviously unbelievable for what she's done for England. But, I mean, Hannah Hampton, her absolute heroics. Obviously, Chelsea winning a domestic treble, England going on to win the Euros. But also, obviously, it's called the Lev Yashin Award, which I understand for the men's goalkeeper. But surely they got to pick a women's goalkeeper and name that award after a women's goalkeeper. I mean, who? We can put that out there, which goalkeeper you think that award should be named after. But it does feel like should probably be named after a female goalkeeper. But obviously, like I say, Wiegman and Hampton were celebrated for their roles in England's Euros defence this summer. And Hannah Hampton paid an emotional tribute to former Liverpool women's manager Matt Beard, who died at the weekend at the age of 47. She remembered him as a trailblazer who cared for the women's game when no one else did. She actually said, you know, he's someone that cared an awful lot. He lit up the room when everyone was in it. And it's just a message to show that not everyone should have to go through these dark moments alone. Sometimes the brightest smiles in the room hide the heaviest pain, and he will be greatly missed. It was a lovely acceptance award or speech from Hannah Hampton. England and Arsenal striker Alessia Russo came third. This is a difficult one, isn't it? You know, Spanish midfielder Aitana Bonmatí. I mean, she's absolutely brilliant. Don't get me wrong. She's now won the Ballon d'Or for a record third time in a row. It was between her and Maria Caldente, and this is where the Ballon d'Or sometimes has its, like, I suppose, just a talking point around it, because usually it is the team that wins the Champions League. Often that one of the players from that team goes on to win the Ballon d'Or. Now, it was a historic night for Arsenal that night. They actually beat this Barcelona side that have dominated recently. I mean, they've won their league for the last 6 years in a row. But it just felt like maybe now was the time, after Arsenal did the unthinkable. No one thought they were probably going to do that against Barcelona in the Champions League final. So it felt like it could have been Alessia Russo or Maria Caldente. But Aitana Bonmatí did win it. And again, I think a lot of people probably wouldn't argue against her winning it. She has been the standout player for a good few years now. Vicky Lopez won Best Young Women's Player. Barcelona's Lamine Yamal won the Copa Trophy for the Best Young Men's Player. He's won that for a second year in a row. I don't think anyone can argue against that. Gianluigi Donnarumma won Best Goalkeeper. And Arsenal were named Best Women's Club, obviously following their Champions League success. I think a talking point about the Ballon d'Or is, you know, the question is it what it once was? I remember, like, going back to, it was the most prestigious award you could win, the Ballon d'Or, and I'm not sure it still has the credibility that it has. I mean, remember back in 2020 when they decided not to award a Ballon d'Or? Robert Lewandowski should have absolutely won it that year, and even though football was being played, they decided not to award it. I actually put out on X yesterday the Ballon d'Or lost its credibility when Messi didn't win it for about 15 years in a row. Because to me, the best player for the 15 years in a row was probably Lionel Messi, give or take 1 or 2 years. But also Harry Kane, this year coming 13th. That man has scored a ridiculous amount of goals. To me, he is the best striker in the world, has been for a number of years. He's got 13 goals and 3 assists in 7 games this season. And last season, he got 41 goals and 14 assists. Now, I'm not someone that likes to look too much on stats, right? I don't like to base any judgment or any decision on stats. But I've watched Harry Kane so many times for club and country. When he was in the Premier League, now he's in the Bundesliga. And he just does it every single game, week in, week out. The consistency levels from that man are out of this world. And I still genuinely believe that he is so criminally underrated. To finish 13th in this year's Ballon d'Or is absolutely wild. And I think also you've got trophies have to come into it. I think Rodri, back in 2024 when he won it, he was the best in his position, and I think a lot of people quite liked that Rodri won it because it sort of we took a step away from the attacking players that have always won it. But was Rodri the best player in the world? And we've got to be so careful that we don't go too much for trophies, because otherwise then it's just a trophy count on who's the best, who's won the most trophies. And it shouldn't be like that. You've got to focus on individual abilities in those games. But yeah, I think that the main takeaway from yesterday was how on earth did Harry Kane finish 13th? And on Trans Euro Express this Sunday, Andy Brassel told Danny Kelly Kane can be mentioned as an all-time great.
One may believe that Kane does not deserve to be mentioned in the same breath as Messi or Ronaldo. And okay, I understand that. But it's not as outrageous as some people claim. When you look at his goal-scoring consistency, the fact that he just plays continuously through injuries and that he's still doing it at this age now. And actually, he's still developing as a player. I think if you compare the way that Messi around about 2015 starts dropping into deeper positions, and of course, over time, he can't make up the ground between the centre circle and the penalty box as effectively as he did in the past. And you look at the 2022 World Cup and he starts a little bit closer to goal on many occasions, with Rodrigo de Paul sort of bolting the back door for him.
Yes.
But it's really interesting. For the moment, Kane has got a team, and you are looking at a player who is not past his peak yet and is in a team that he suits brilliantly and suits him brilliantly.
I love everything about Harry Kane, and I think Andy Brassel there is so right about Harry Kane. He is and should be considered an all-time great. The levels just unbelievable from Harry Kane. But let me know. I'd love to know from you guys listening, watching. Do you think the Ballon d'Or has lost its credibility? Do you care about who wins the Ballon d'Or? Let me know. 03717 223344. Right, Monday night's NFL football has finished over on talkSPORT 2. The Detroit Lions came through a tough test against fellow Super Bowl favourites, the Baltimore Ravens. Lions won 38-24 in Baltimore. Here's how David Montgomery's winning touchdown sounded on talkSPORT.
The snap, the spin, handoff Montgomery over the left side, the 30, got a block at the 20 on the number, sideline 10, broke the tackle 5, inside the pylon, touchdown Detroit! Oh, the dagger! 31-yard touchdown run Montgomery! The Lions with a kill shot, and Montgomery takes it home!
Yeah, and don't forget that this weekend the NFL is in Ireland for the first time, with talkSPORT 2 bringing you exclusive live coverage of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Minnesota Vikings from Croke Park in Dublin, with Will Gavin and NFL Daily host Greg Rosenthal providing our own commentary. For more content and plenty of exclusive interviews, make sure to check out the talkSPORT USA YouTube channel. This is Early Breakfast on talkSPORT with me, Olivia Buzaglo, and Adrian Flux. Insurance for the individual. Find out more at adrianflux.co.uk. Good morning to you this morning. I'm Olivia Buzaglo, and this is Early Sports Breakfast with Adrian Flux. Get a tailor-made quote for your commercial vehicle. Search Adrian Flux. Insurance for the individual. Jeff Stelling is back on breakfast this Tuesday morning alongside him. Super Ali McCoy. I think I found someone that goes on holiday as much as me, and I didn't think that was possible, but Jeff Stelling definitely matches me in terms of holidays. I think he's off again in a couple of weeks, and so am I think. Some of your headlines this Tuesday morning. We understand Monchi will leave his role as President of Football Operations at Aston Villa. The Spaniard will depart just 2 years after he joined from Sevilla, as Villa begin to feel the effects of a difficult summer transfer window. Hibs manager David Gray says it's important to move on after their poor run of form as they prepare to take on Falkirk in the Scottish Premiership tonight. The Edinburgh club are without a win in their last 5 matches in all competitions. And USA Ryder Cup captain Keegan Bradley says he has no regrets over his decision not to play at the Ryder Cup. He had contemplated a dual role at this week's tournament in New York, but ultimately decided he will just lead the team instead. Bradley thinks he's made the right choice.
I catch myself every now and then looking down the fairway, seeing the guys walk down the fairway and think how badly I'd want to do that. And how badly I'd want to be in that group with Scotty Scheffler and seeing him play and being his teammate. But I feel like I've been called for a bigger cause here.
For more on all these stories, you can visit talksport.com. Right now, we've already lost one Premier League manager this season. That was, of course, Nuno Espirito Santo. And it can't be too long before we lose another. The pressure on Graham Potter at West Ham is getting almost unbearable. West Ham fan TV presenter Dan Lawless told White and Jordan he's given up on Potter and the club.
I don't have faith in Potter based on some of his decision-making in games. I want the club sold no matter what, because for me, the big sticking point has been the move to the stadium, and what they've done is unforgivable. I just did a video in June why I gave up my season ticket. I've walked away from the stadium. I had hundreds and hundreds of comments from fans, heartbreaking comments, people going since the 50s, 60s, 70s that walked away from West Ham. Okay. 29,000, it was reported, season ticket holders walked away as of February. Okay, now we're getting to Upton Park capacity, have left West Ham. It's not the same. We've got Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United fans over there, week in, week out.
Meanwhile, former West Ham manager Sam Allardyce told Breakfast Potter needs to forget the noise and just crack on with his job.
The recruitment has let him down. But you have to roll your sleeves up and change who you are to make sure you can manufacture a result, however you can manufacture it, and forget about anything else and forget about the outside world, forget about the pressures of the outside world and focus on what you need to do, and that's win football matches whichever and however you can, and don't listen to the white noise outside.
Yeah, Graham Potter under some serious pressure this season. Obviously, had 2 home games, didn't they? They lost a London derby. They lost 2 London derbies in a row now. A disappointing 3-0 defeat to Spurs. And then, of course, that one on the weekend, losing 2-1 at home to Palace. Nuno Espirito Santo is out there. I wonder, when you look at the job he did with Forest and the way that they play football, maybe that would suit West Ham. We had a few texts in this morning. Darren, the Spurs fan, saying Kane is the best striker in the world. Look what he did with Spurs with very little help. I tend to agree, Darren. I think you're absolutely right. Love everything about Harry Kane. Carla said, no chance Cole Palmer wins a Ballon d'Or. More chance. More chance of Elvis and Tupac knocking on your door and asking if you have a bowl of water for their T-Rex to drink. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I don't think it's the most outrageous thing to think a player like Cole Palmer could win the Ballon d'Or. I actually don't. And someone said this, if you're going to say this, I want to know your name. I want to know who you are. 11 minutes in and it's all about Chelsea again. Thanks for listening, though. And it's not all about Chelsea. I literally mentioned Cole Palmer because he finished 8th and was the highest Englishman to finish that high. He was the highest Englishman in the Ballon d'Or. So I thought, why not have a little chat about Cole? But don't worry, we're not talking about Chelsea anymore, apart from their game against Lincoln in the Carabao Cup tonight. But anyway, it's time to now get into the back pages with Nick Ellaby. I was about to wait for something then and it wasn't coming.
No, don't
it's not
wait.
Coming on a Tuesday. No, you're here. No need to wait.
A nice interview with Adam Lallana in the Times, who's now, he's 37, he's a coach at Southampton, obviously ahead of Liverpool versus Southampton in the Carabao Cup tonight, which is live on talkSPORT 2. And, he's quite a cerebral player, quite a smart guy. There's a nice quote from him here who talking to Paul Joyce in the Times about his coaching role under Will Still and the fact that he feels like a kid again because he's starting a new role. He says, when the manager asks me to do a session, or I think of a session straight away, I get that feeling in my chest of butterflies, or I've got to prepare this, I want it to be perfect, what are my key points going to be, what players have I got, could that change at the last minute? So, if someone who really cares about the job, it's easy to see that. He used to be a real favourite of Jurgen Klopp for a little while in that Liverpool team, and obviously an absolute hero at Southampton when he got I'm a Southampton fan, but he was he was probably our best player when we got that double promotion from League One. Mentioning here as well, talking about what Lallana hopes will be an unlikely giant killing. I'm not sure if a Championship team beating a Premier League team can be called a giant killing.
Who have you got?
Liverpool.
It's not quite a giant
really
killing,
a
is
giant
it? We're not
killing,
talking like leagues apart. We're talking about a team that were in the Premier League last year.
Exactly. Well, Southampton have not won at Anfield for, I think, 8 meetings, but their last one in 2017 was that Carabao Cup quarter-final when Shane Long scored in the 90th minute breakaway goal.
Maybe it's a good omen.
Well, yeah, then Southampton lost the final, but,
Maybe not then.
I think also keep an eye on Rio and Gomero ahead of tonight. He could become Liverpool's youngest Carabao Cup scorer, I think, by about 20 days, if he plays and scores. Also, looking at this Christian Horner payoff.
Imagine getting paid that much to be sacked.
£80 million. The Times understands.
Sorry, that is outrage. £80 million.
80 million quid. He's agreed that settlement with Red Bull, which should allow him to return to work with a rival Formula One team in the first half of next season. So he could be back for someone else next season. Interesting. What a development.
That is crazy. Thank you very much, Nick.
Cheers.
That was a look at today's back pages. Right, you were listening to Early Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Up next, we'll try and work out what the EFL should do with the abandoned Blackburn versus Ipswich game. Blackburn 1-0 up against Ipswich 10 men. What happens now?
Premier League's profit and sustainability rules are sold to us as financial fair play, a way to keep clubs from going bust. But there are those who feel it's starting to look a lot like a system that protects the big boys and keeps the rest in their lane. Here's how it works and why people feel that way. So clubs can only lose 105 million quid over 3 years, which sounds fair, but here's the kicker. Your limit includes how much you earn. So if you're one of the traditional top 6, you've got massive global revenue streams and you can spend way more while still technically following the rules. Meanwhile, ambitious clubs like Newcastle, Villa or Forest, well, they're bringing a knife to a gunfight. Newcastle might be backed by Saudi billions, but they just can't splurge the cash. Their commercial income isn't there yet. Last season, they won their first domestic trophy since 1955 and qualified for the Champions League, which you'd think would be a great springboard for them to go on and start building a team to challenge at the very top. But because of PSR restraints, they couldn't break their wage structure for a new Alexander Isak contract, and look what happened there. So what's the solution? Well, either loosen the reins so ambitious clubs can spend within their means, or cap spending based on something other than revenue. Otherwise, we're just watching the same 6 teams swapping silverware most seasons, and that, folks, ain't what the Premier League was built on.
Hope everyone is okay this Tuesday morning. This is Early Sports Breakfast with Adrian Flux, the cover you need at a price you'll love. With Watvan's Insurer of the Year 2021. You can find out more at adrianflux.co.uk. I'm Olivia Buzaglo with you until 6 a.m. Who's written this? Then you're in the gnarled old hands of Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist. I didn't mean that, Jeff and Ali, I promise. For talkSPORT Breakfast, they'll be taking through until 10 a.m. Some of the headlines you're waking up to this Tuesday morning. If you're just waking up, Ousmane Dembele won the men's Ballon d'Or. He pipped Lamine Yamal to the trophy, who won the best young player for the second year in a row. Aitana Bonmati won best women's player at the ceremony in Paris for a record 3rd consecutive time. Fulham boss Marco Silva insists he's treating the EFL Cup very seriously this season. His side hosts League 2 Cambridge for a place in the 4th round this evening. Silva's hinted he could make changes to his team, but says that doesn't mean he's taking their opponents lightly.
We have to do our maximum. Doesn't matter if you change 1, 2 or 10 players. Our ambition is to be in the next round.
And Brighton boss Fabian Hertzler says they'll need a performance of the highest level to avoid a League Cup upset at League One Barnsley this evening. Albion head to Oakwell with a place in the 4th round at stake, but their opponents are unbeaten at home so far this season. Hertzler doesn't want his players to get complacent.
It's a do or die game. It's a 50-50 game. We have to be prepared. We have to really take it serious because Barnsley, they play a really good season so far. They did a great job. They play good football. They have good players, so we have to be prepared.
And tonight we have got Lincoln versus Chelsea on talkSPORT, while Liverpool versus Southampton is live for you on talkSPORT 2. Right, to the Championship, because what is happening in the game between Blackburn and Ipswich? So Ipswich and Blackburn understood to have both submitted their cases to the EFL regarding what they feel should happen next following Saturday's abandoned game at Ewood Park. Ipswich were down to 10 and they were 1-0 down when the game was abandoned due to a waterlogged pitch with just over 10 minutes to go. But what should happen next on Drive? Andy Goldstein put forward a case to award Ipswich all 3 points.
So Burnley, they're 12 miles away. They completed their game. It was raining. Bolton, 13 miles away. Chorley, non-league, 10 miles away. Right? The pitch was virtually unplayable at this one at Ewood Park from half-time. But they still continued for another 35 minutes.
Okay.
The teams I mentioned, they finished their game and they're in and around the area. Now, I don't know what the weather was like 10 miles down the road, right? But I'm guessing if it was monsoon weather at Ewood Park,
they would have got it there.
I'm guessing it was pretty wet everywhere else, right? So producer Joe seems to think that if Blackburn Rovers can't do what Burnley, Bolton and Chorley all did, then they should forfeit the game.
I wonder why Drive producer, the Ipswich fan Joe, said that he should award Ipswich all 3 points. I mean, what would you do if you, Blackburn will be fuming, 1-0 up. And I know, obviously, Andy Goldstein, Aaron Drive was saying, it's almost their fault that the game couldn't carry on and that it had to be, postponed. But don't know, Blackburn will surely be fighting their case. Meanwhile, former Premier League ref Dermot Gallagher says the EFL need to make a call quickly, he told Sports Bar last night, and he doesn't think they will replay just the last 10 minutes.
It's very, very rare in this country. I can't remember ever they've gone back and played the last part of the game.
Right. So
but it's not uncommon. We've seen it in Real Madrid, had to do it a few years ago. But it's up to the league. But what I do say is if they're going to act swiftly tomorrow, it will clear it up straight away.
It's an impossible situation. The ref, there's nothing he's done about it. He made the right call.
Well, I think the pass across the pitch that just didn't move told everybody you cannot carry on like this.
Oh, it's so tough for Blackburn because surely they're going, well, they're down to 10 men, so let's just replay the last 10 minutes with Ipswich down to 10 men and us with 11. But I don't think you can do that, can you? Or you'd feel really hard done by if Blackburn have to play the whole game again, given Ipswich just got relegated as well. And, I think they haven't started the season well, Ipswich, to be fair. But I wonder what will happen in that game. Like Dermot says, a decision needs to be made and needs to be made quickly. Elsewhere, there was some Championship football last night. Millwall got their first home points of the season as Camille Neagley's stunning free kick proved to be the winner as Alex Neil's side beat Watford 1-0 in the Championship. It's Camille Negley, by the way. Negley, not Neagley. Negley. And it was a brilliant free kick as well. I've seen it. It was a stunning free kick. Our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, was there for us.
As the full-time whistle blows, Alex Neil has his first points, his first win at home this season. And what a difference that victory has made to the league table. Millwall up to 10th place, level on points with 6th place Coventry, only a couple of points off the automatic promotion spots. So concertinaed is the Championship at this early stage of proceedings. The goal that won it was scored in the 10th minute. Camille Negley with a 20-yard free kick into the top corner. For Watford, it's now 1 win in 7 under the stewardship of Paolo Pezzolano. They're only being kept out of the relegation places on goal difference. The spotlight firmly on the new man in the Hornets dugout. But this is Millwall's night. This is Camille Negley's night as it finishes Millwall 1, Watford 0.
Yeah, big result that for Millwall. They're up to 10th in the Championship. Right, time now for this.
It's a front page throwdown.
Oh, what a move!
The front page is first on the early sports breakfast. Talk Sport.
Right, time for the front pages. Nick, what have you got for us?
Are you a good cook?
I made a lovely spaghetti bolognese last night.
Decent.
I don't know if I'm a good cook though. I'm an okay cook.
Do you ever cook stuff in the toaster that isn't bread?
No. What on earth would you put in a toaster that's not bread?
Well, fish fingers, bacon and even steak are the wackiest things people have cooked in their toaster, apparently. With the average toaster only using the gadget 4 times a week, 38% admit to attempting to cook something other than bread.
That is who on earth is putting bacon or steak or fish fingers in a toaster?
That toaster's not going to be used
That's
again,
disgusting.
Naan bread was the favourite unconventional item to be toasted.
Oh, that's fine.
That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah,
Followed
bread.
by potato waffles and pancakes.
I sort of get I don't mind the potato waffles. I might mind. It's the bacon and the steak that I can't, and then the fish fingers I can't get on board with.
Where's all that fat going?
Disgusting.
I once
Get an air fryer.
at uni. I once boiled an egg in the kettle in the hall.
You actually put it in the kettle.
Yeah, it was a mistake. I was 18. I hold my hands up.
That's hilarious.
Sorry to Leeds University for ruining
brilliant.
Their kettle. I've got another question for you here, right? If you've got workmen at your house,
Yeah.
do you always make them a cup of tea and coffee?
Yeah, I would always. I mean, I haven't had workmen at my house very much
Yeah.
because I just rent flats.
Right.
I don't really have workmen there. However, if I did have someone, like we had someone to come over and check the boiler,
Yeah.
I'd always ask them if they want a cup of tea. I don't know if I'd offer them like food. Are you meant to offer them food? I don't know.
Occasionally I will. I always offer them a tea or a coffee.
Depends how long they're there for.
The big question is, would you let them charge their tools in your house if they needed to? Says here, Folk in this Daily Star, folk are banning tradesmen from charging tools in their homes and refusing to put the heating on for them due to energy costs.
I wouldn't put the heating on for them. Like, if I would put the heating on if I want to put the heating on in my own house. But if they need, what about if they need their tools and they forgot to charge? I'd probably let them charge them at my house, but I wouldn't.
You're doing all right. You'd be okay, right?
Yeah.
So many customers now ask tradespeople to charge their tools off-site rather than in their homes. It's little surprise so many tradespeople are considering how to recoup these costs. That's from spokesman Greg Richardson. So, well, I mean, maybe it's a bit too. They should really come with charged.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, they should come with charged tools,
fair.
but it's fine. I will let you charge your tools at my house.
Not a million miles away from Halloween. Do you do a lantern?
No,
Jack-o'-lantern?
I'm not like a big Halloween person. I like my nephew's like coming up to 4.
Yeah.
I will take him trick or treating and we'll
dress up?
No.
Like a dead Britney Spears?
You know, one time,
Yeah.
my mum took me trick or treating the day before Halloween, and it was the single most embarrassing thing I have ever done. I was only like a child, and basically we couldn't go for some reason. I think my mum or her mate was busy.
Yeah.
And and the amount of people that were like, "It's not Halloween," and I was like, "How embarrassing is that?"
It's a bit harsh. I mean, do you have sweets ready in case people come around your house?
Well, no, because who in their right mind goes trick or treating the day before Halloween?
Well, that is true.
This mug.
And you don't ever get in the spirit of it and sort of dress up, go out, that kind of thing.
It's not really for me to do. You?
I dressed it up as a mummy once. I covered myself in toilet paper. It was a very cheap costume.
How old were you?
My friend David, probably about 19. My friend David set me on fire. He thought it was funny.
What?
I know. Shout out to David Griffith if he's listening.
Sounds quite dangerous.
It was a bit dangerous, yeah. Shouldn't have done
Are
it.
you okay?
It was fine.
No,
the arm,
yeah,
put it out
fine.
straight away. We're all
Nice.
good. Anyway, in case, just before I go, Halloween will be one of the best on record with the abundance of monster pumpkins because of last year's wet conditions, the warm and dry spring, and plenty of summer sun. So look out for some massive pumpkins on doorsteps this year.
How exciting. Nick, thank you very much. Coming up next, we will look ahead to the Carabao Cup fixtures tonight. I'm Olivia Buzaglo, and you're listening to Early Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. I'm Olivia Buzaglo. This is the Early Sports Breakfast. The Carabao Cup is back here tonight on talkSPORT. The third round has already given us a late Swansea comeback to knock Angers Forest out. Could Slot and Maresca be next?
What a breathless, fantastic advert for Carabao Cup football. Over the top, Lincoln City have won it 3-2 on penalties. It's come out to Moises Caicedo. Oh, he's rifled it in. What a strike!
I don't think they're going to be far away from anything this season, actually. They've got the numbers to be really competitive.
First time cross, Robinson heads it in for Southampton. In towards the right, Ekatike through the legs of the goalkeeper.
You've got to be dominating, you've got to be winning trophies, you've got to be coming back with some sort of silverware.
Wolves absolutely rampant here. Wolves 3, West Ham United 2. Brighton comfortably through. Oxford 0, Brighton 6. Edge of the pedals here, onto his right foot, fires the shot, deflected, and in, and it's 2-0 to Burnley.
It is Preston 2, Wrexham 3. They have won this game in the dying moment.
All the drama of the Carabao Cup live on talkSPORT.
Lincoln against Chelsea is live on talkSPORT tonight from 7 p.m. Our chief football anchor Adrian Durham presents live commentary from Jim Proudfoot and former Chelsea midfielder Andy Townsend. Meanwhile, over on talkSPORT 2, it's Liverpool against Southampton. Commentary comes from Ian Danter and former England defender Mickey Gray. I think it's a really good chance for both Liverpool and Chelsea to rest a couple of players with the Premier League this weekend, but also the Champions League. I think the following week, I think it'll be the main reason to do that. It's a bit frustrating because Mark Gee, the young striker that got recalled from his loan at Sunderland, can't even play. He can't even play in the League Cup because he's cup tied. So that's great. So I imagine Tyreek George will play. Maresca's already said he can't rest both Tosin and Chalobah, so one of them is going to have to play. So it'll be really interesting to see the team news that both Arne Slot and Enzo Maresca put out tonight. On the sports bar last night, Jamie O'Hara called out Chelsea for being a small club. Does he know he supports Spurs?
The only people that talk about Chelsea, you, Rory Jennings, and Scott Minto. The rest of you, I don't even know if there's a Chelsea fan out there. Honestly, just like tourist fans you are. West London, go have a little drink down King's Road, go and watch a game.
They're out there, Jay.
Proper fans.
They're out there, mate.
Where are they?
Maybe it's you.
Where are they?
Maybe they want to speak to you.
Where are you?
I am Scott Minto.
Where are you? Chelsea, let's be having you. Your mob, phone up, garbage.
I tend to agree with Jason Cundy there that we don't call up talkSPORT because no one wants to talk to Jamie O'Hara because he just spouts rubbish about Spurs. So maybe that's the reason, Jamie. Maybe that's the reason that no one calls up talkSPORT to talk about Chelsea. But it's absolutely the cheek of it. The cheek of him to call Chelsea a small club when he supports Spurs is interesting. But of course, Chelsea are in EFL Cup action tonight, and Liverpool are as well. They're at home to Southampton. You would think, even if he does ring the changes, that Liverpool would probably get through this. Ben Woodburn is currently Liverpool's youngest EFL Cup scorer. He's 17 years and 45 days. However, Rio Ngamoa is 17 years and 25 days old. So could he become Liverpool's youngest ever EFL Cup scorer tonight? He's had a brilliant start to the season. He's made a massive impact and I fully expect him to start. He looks brilliant, doesn't he? It's another player that Chelsea let go from our academy, so don't really want to talk about that. But Darren Lewis and Scott Minto told Kickoff last night Liverpool look relentless this season, even though they're not playing that well.
This is the worry. I mean, listen, to be fair, you would expect them to be where they are, given they've spent nearly £500 million in the summer transfer window. And what they've done is they've said to Slot, you've won with somebody else's team, now we're going to rip it up and build your team for you. It's interesting, actually, the minute they made the inquiry for Isak, I was like, we've all, listening, watching, whatever, we've all seen enough football to know how that kind of thing plays out. And the fact that they were able to win without him even starting the match, he's able. They're still trying to give him his minutes for him to get fitter. Wirtz is nowhere near where they want him to be either. Excuse me. I think there are levels for this team to reach, and I would suggest they're probably about 35% of the way there now.
What do you think of it then? Are you thinking this is a foregone conclusion then, the way that they're going?
Not foregone conclusion, we are too early. And I would go with a higher percentage than Darren, but I agree with his sentiment. I think it is quite scary.
Well, after tonight's games, the boys will be back on the sports bar to dissect all of the action. Of course, Liverpool in action, and that Manchester City against Arsenal result in the Premier League on Sunday was a perfect result for Liverpool. But Jason Cundy questioned whether the Premier League can still be called a great league.
No, I just don't know how exciting the Premier League is. Now, I don't want to go back in the day, but if I go back to like the early to mid 2000s, right?
Yeah.
And some of the Man United and Arsenal games we used to watch, Vieira and Kane. Who are these players now? Where are the battles? Where's those real battles we used to see in the middle of the park?
Well, you got Haaland and Gabriel. That's a bit of a
yeah,
rivalry.
that's one. But I don't know. Is it great? I can't. It feels that a couple of years ago, 10, 15 years ago, that the Premier League was a better, more attractive watch. That's how it felt.
Well, you're not having it.
Jason might be right, but it is still a great league. It is. Right, there is loads more coming up on talkSPORT Breakfast today. Joining Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoy. This morning, Shirley Ballas is in the studio. That's exciting to talk about the new series of Strictly Come Dancing, starring one of my favourite men, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. What a legend. Former Liverpool and Villa forward Ray Houghton will preview Liverpool versus Saints in the Carabao Cup and look at Villa's poor start to the season. Bradford City goalkeeper Sam Walker will be on to look ahead to their League Cup game at Newcastle. And French football expert and PSG fan Julien Laurent will discuss last night's Ballon d'Or awards. He'll be buzzing with Ousmane Dembele and PSG winning Club of the Year. You've been listening to Early Breakfast with Adrian Flux, insurance for the individual. Find out more at adrianflux.co.uk. It's talkSPORT Breakfast. Jeff and Ali on the way.